This is a demonstration of the sandwich attack for wingman tactics. The setup for this attack is when two wingmen are engaged by a bandit on their 6 o'clock. The wingmen drag the bandit while preparing for a controlled attack before they are engaged by the bandit. As the bandit closes the distance, one wingman will break off around 30 to 40 degrees from the initial heading. As the wingmen separate, they will start to notice the bandit engage one of them. If the bandit engages the wingman that broke off, becoming the engaged wingman, the other wingman, the free wingman, will reverse and come back and engage the bandit 6. This creates a sandwich with the bandit in the middle. This is a visual representation in real time of the tactic taking place as the wingmen prepare for the sandwich setup. The flight lead is to the left and the wingman to the right. They are being engaged by a bandit 109 at their 6 o'clock, long 6 o'clock. They are dragging the bandit in this setup. They can see him coming in, and at this point the wingman to the right is setting up the sandwich. He will be setting a course correction of about 30 to 40 degrees to the right, which can be shown here. This creates some separation between the wingman and the flight leader. The flight leader is maintaining a straight course, and the wingman is breaking off to the right. This creates the separation. Both the flight lead and the wingman are keeping an eye on that bandit to see which one he will engage. You can start to see already that the bandit is pointing in the direction of the wingman. As this occurs, the flight lead is noticing as he looks back that the bandit is engaging the engaged wingman here. Since this is the engaged wingman, the flight lead becomes the free wingman who will come back in reverse and engage on the bandit. At this point, the engaged wingman is dragging and building up speed to drag the bandit. This will allow the free wingman to engage the bandit's 6 o'clock. With luck and precision from the free wingman, he should be able to score hits on the bandit. This does require a bit of practice because the free wingman may inadvertently turn too early or turn too late. If he turns too early, he will turn into the front of the bandit, generally in this area. If he turns too late, he may be too far back. This does require a bit of practice between the two wingmen, but with a bit of practice, he should be able to engage that bandit, provided they stick to this setup. Here's a view of the flight leader in this setup. Flight leader looking at his 5 o'clock, he has his wingman. To the 6 o'clock of both is the bandit. As they're extending, they're preparing for the setup. The wingman will be given the order to break off, and he does. He's going about 30 to 40 degrees to the right. He's looking back at that bandit, seeing who he's engaging. He's engaging his wingman. So the flight lead is coming back to situate himself into the sandwich position. He's leading the bandit, coming back in, and the wingman is extending. He's on his 6 o'clock and fires on the bandit. What happens when the bandit engages the extending flight leader instead of the braking wingman? In this situation, you have the reverse. It's called the half split. The wingman will brake as normal, and as they gain separation, they will notice that the bandit is engaging the flight leader instead this time. The roles are reversed. The flight leader will continue extending while the wingman will reverse and sandwich the bandit. In this situation, the roles are reversed. It's the same setup where the wingman and his flight leader have the bandit on his 6 o'clock. They will perform the same separation when the wingman will break off about 30 to 40 degrees off to his right, and the flight lead will continue extending in the initial heading. They will keep an eye on that bandit. As in the previous demonstration, the bandit was going after the wingman that broke off. In this situation, the bandit will continue pursuing the flight lead that has an unaltered course. In this situation, it's called the half split, where the wingman will just come back and jump on the bandit 6 as the flight lead extends. So you can see here that the bandit is closing the distance, and the wingman will break off to the right, which he is doing here. So the wingman and the flight lead will keep an eye on that bandit, see which one it is engaging. Bandit is currently engaging the flight lead, and the wingman reverses to come back on the bandit 6 o'clock. Timing is critical here because if he turns too early, he will fly right in front of the bandit. If he turns too late, he will be too far to the rear. And as you can see here, he was able to score some hits. Here is a view from the wingman's cockpit view. As you can see here, his flight lead is just to his 11 o'clock, and they can see that bandit at their 6 o'clock. These planes are not to scale, but he would be further back, a little more difficult to see. So they are about to prepare, the wingman and his flight leader are about to prepare the setup. The wingman breaks off to the right, keeping an eye on his wingman, his flight leader there. He's looking back to see who is he engaging, the bandit. He sees that he's engaging the flight lead. He reverses and comes back and trying to get back on his 6. He is leading the bandit and sits right on his 6 and opens fire and manages to score some hits there. As mentioned earlier, timing is critical in order to get the brake and the reverse back onto the bandit for the sandwich set up correctly. In this demonstration, the wingman here will turn too early and reverse too quickly, and actually end up in the crosshairs of the bandit. So here comes the wingman making his brake. He does look back and sees that his flight leader is being engaged, and then he reverses to come back on the bandit 6 o'clock. However, in this situation, he turned too early. He'll end up behind his wingman and in front of the bandit. So, as mentioned before, timing is critical. It does take some practice, but you will figure out just when to turn when that closing distance comes in with the bandit, and speed and altitude. There's a lot of various factors. This is actually an ideal situation, but you'll start to notice when you can actually implement this tactic. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful. The sandwich and half split wingman tactic takes some practice, so be patient with it and your wingman as you learn this. This is one of many wingman tactics, but should be a good start to coordinate wingman tactics.